Hi, this is Dave Gilbert, the writer-designer for Blackwell Deception. You have activated the in-game commentary. Those of you who have played our other games sort of know how this works, although we'll be doing things a little differently this time. Most of the time we'll be interrupting you, like I'm doing now. Other times there'll be little icons all over the screen that you can click on and get more information. There's bloopers and additional commentary and some other stuff. You'll know when you see it. Other than that, I will shut up and you can continue playing. I used to think notes and diary entries like this were kind of a cop-out as a way to kind of give background information without you actually playing anything. But lately I've started using them more because originally I had an idea of you getting the email or contacting the person, physically going to the dock and going onto the boat. But that's kind of boring. That's just busy work. Why not start right at the action? And this note was deliberately worded so you could read it if you wanted to. But if you just hit the exit button and skipped it, you don't really need to know any of this stuff. You don't need to know why the boat is haunted. It just kind of is. So if you didn't want to read it and you skipped it, you didn't miss anything. So it was deliberately worded this way.
Hello? Anybody here? We're coming aboard.
Coming aboard?
What would you say?
Not that.
As I've written more games, I've tried to keep my dialogue terser and terser, try to give you the same information in fewer lines, because no one wants to get bogged down with dialogue. And the first lines of a game are always a bit of a challenge, because you don't want to get too bogged down with the dialogue, but you still want to introduce the characters in the situation. And here, they don't say very much, but you know that they're investigating this boat, there's something there, and you kind of get a hint of their relationship, how Rosa wants to be taken seriously, and Joey doesn't take her seriously. So that was all kind of given to you in a couple of lines. It probably taken longer to explain it to you than it did for them to actually say the lines.
It's the way we came in. The ramp leads back down to Chelsea Pier.
This game originally had a different background artist, and I was working with him for a month or two. And unfortunately, in the end, I couldn't use him. As you can see this image here, this is what this originally looked like. It was gorgeous. I mean, this is a beautiful image, but his strength lies in high-definition art. And he couldn't do it any smaller than this. This is actually as much as I could shrink it without it getting pixelated and ugly. But when I put the low-resolution characters against it, the styles just did not mesh. And I tried downgrading the background to bring it down to the proper resolution, but I just couldn't get it right. There was just so much work in getting it low res. And in the end, I just decided to cut my losses and go with Indrek, who is the background artist I have now.
It's a ladder.
He sounds so excited.
No, it makes me think of like when you're teaching kids things. It's a ladder. I haven't been out to Chelsea Piers in years. I have not been out to Chelsea Piers in years. It's so ridiculous.
Sorry.
No, I mean, it's a legitimate sentence. It's just years and years.
You doing okay?
I'm fine. I'm fine. I thought maybe she was being sick, like, I'm totally cool.
He's going in circles. My blind grandmother would have been better than... Let's try it again. That was great. Keep it.
There was a scene in the previous game, Blackwell Convergence, which took place in Central Park. And if you listened to the commenter for that, you would have known that I originally wanted that to take place in Chelsea Piers, kind of on the dock. But when I went there, I couldn't really find anything that looked interesting, that would look nice as a background. It doesn't really look very pretty or nice from the dock itself. So for this game, I decided to go back to Chelsea Piers, but have you on a boat instead, which is always a kind of cool place to set a ghost story.
Joey, my ever-present shadow. I haven't been out to Chelsea Piers in years. Of course, I could say the same of just about anywhere these days. I can't leave yet. We just got here. It's the way we came in. The ramp leads back down to Chelsea Pier. I can't leave yet. We just got here. Joey.
What is it this time?
No ghosts yet. Seems pretty clear.
Another dead end? That's what you get when you accept cases by post.
This yacht is amazing. We're really moving up in the world.
When you think about it, there's really nowhere else for us to go.
I wonder how much a boat like this costs.
More than we could afford, sweetheart.
We? I guess we should keep looking around.
Might as well. I could think of worse places to spend an evening.
I guess we should keep looking around.
Might as well. I could think of worse places to spend an evening.
That's all for now.
Yeah.
If it says anything, I can't see it from this angle.
It says Ryan and June? Guess it's some couple. There she is. The latest Blackwell dame I'm shackled to. Took her a while, but she's gotten used to having me around. Let's have a little talk.
What?
Times like this, I wish I still had a nose. There's nothing quite like the smell of sea spray.
It's grimy and polluted, Joey. Count yourself lucky.
Shucks, darling. You really know how to make a fella glad he's dead. Nothing's out of the ordinary so far. You think our client is on the level?
Could be. We should look around some more, just to give him his money's worth.
Assuming the guy plans on paying us.
Yeesh, Joey, how did you get so cynical?
Ask me again when you stop breathing. This is a pretty fancy tub. I wonder what kind of guy owns it.
Our client wouldn't give me a name. I think he's embarrassed by the whole thing.
Well, I can't speak for our client, but you certainly embarrassed the hell out of me.
Hmm.
Well, enough jabbering. Let's take a look around this crate.
Right.
Well, enough.
Right.
I don't know if it's important or not, but people don't usually write their names on boats without a good reason.
You think the boat belongs to someone named Ryan?
Most likely. I wonder who June could be. A lover? A wife?
Maybe Ryan just really likes summer.
No. Just no. All right, let's get back to it.
Sure. Creepy.
Just our kind of place.
Creepy. 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 Just so random. This place is fucking creepy. Just our kind of place. Well, I've got my phone. If we have enough information, I might be able to do a web search. I like that she's so reliant on her phone. She's like, let's use my phone. He's like, God damn it. That's me. I'm Joey in this case. God, using your friggin' phone.
The section here on the boat is completely standalone and separate from the rest of the game. You don't hear about any of this stuff again. It's just completely separate. And it did something similar with the previous game, Blackwell Convergence. There was an abandoned office and there was a ghost there you had to save. And it worked really well because I was able to concentrate all the game's mechanics and everything about the Blackwell world into one small area. And you could learn everything right at the beginning. And so it wasn't entirely overwhelming. And it worked so well before that I did it again.
Looks like a light switch.
Those of you who have backgrounds in 3D modeling and stuff probably can tell that 3D modeling software was used to design most of these rooms. And Indirect, the background artist, what he did, it actually enabled him to do something really, really cool, which was that he could generate different light maps. And it was easy to create different lighting schemes for all the backgrounds. So here, Rosa just flipped the lights on and off, and we used that for a lot of different rooms. So I thought it was a neat effect that we could make with very little work.
Anybody here?
Anything?
Nothing yet.
What the heck was that?
We're moving.
Yeah, I noticed.
There's nobody on board but us.
Yeah, I noticed that too.
So we've definitely got a ghost.
Yeah, we do.
We're going west, so that's got to be the George Washington Bridge. I'm not jumping into the Hudson River, even if this boat is haunted. Nothing yet. I don't know. How do you do those? The ship moves, nothing yet. Maybe I'll supply my own sound effect. Nothing yet. Ouch. Hold on, let me see if I can. We're getting no closer to shore. Sleeping on a boat makes my stomach churn. Looks like an air vent that goes into the room above. It's held into place with a few screws. Hey, Joey. Looks like I found a ghost.
You're going to say spirits, aren't you?
Maybe.
I'm just going to pretend you never said anything.
There's something funny about this wall.
This is a very gamey kind of puzzle, and I don't often like these kind of puzzles in adventure games, but if you know the correct answer, it is kind of appropriate because it's the ghost's wife. And there's also something very visceral and very satisfying about poking these knots in the wall. I can't explain why, or maybe I'm just crazy, but I enjoy poking them. Go ahead, poke some more, you know you want to.
Looks like it was poured and never drank. The last time I drank on the job, it didn't end too well. Although, believe me, I'm tempted. The last time I drank on the job, it didn't... Although, believe me, we're getting no closer to shore. I don't think it's the kind that opens. Joey.
You rang?
I've always wanted to go on a harbor cruise, but never quite like this.
At least you didn't have to pay admission.
A haunted boat.
Yep.
A haunted boat.
Seems so.
We're on a boat, and it's haunted.
This is just sinking in?
I wonder where this boat is headed.
Seems to be going in circles. Whoever's at the wheel, they aren't paying attention.
I'm gonna take another look around.
Yeah, there's gotta be something we missed.
I'm gonna take another look around.
Yeah.
Who do you suppose Ryan is?
I have no idea.
Who could June be, I wonder?
I haven't the foggiest.
That's all for now.
Yeah.
Leftover change from the coffee I bought before we came here. I got these business cards made up a few months ago. They glow in the dark. It's so cool. It's so cool. It's so cool. It's the tits. I've had it with this low-profile stuff, although it's not the conversation starter I thought it would be. I thought about putting my phone number on here, but figured it was a bad idea. I got these business cards made up a few months ago. They glow in the dark. It's so cool.
Not a bad collection, all things considered. If I could, believe me, I would. If I... That's alright if you like that sort of thing. Looks like an air vent that goes into the room above. It's held into place with a few screws. She's taken this whole runaway boat thing pretty well, although her gills are looking a bit greener than normal. Yeah, that stopped being funny a long time ago. All right, who's there? Somebody's piloting this tub and it's not me. I knew it.
I spent a long time trying to think of how to tutorialize this section. At first, I released the build to the beta testers with no tutorial to see if they could get it. And for the most part, they did. So I realized I didn't really need a real heavy, hand-holdy tutorial. I wanted something that didn't really break the flow of the game. So I had these little windows that kind of fade in and out. And I also contextualized it. So if, like this bit here where you have to blow on the keys, if you had already used the blowing power on something, that tutorial would not appear. So because the game would assume you already knew how to do it. So, but if you never used the power before, or if you never used that function before, then that tutorial would appear. So contextualized tutorials, that's where it's at.
My phone. Very nice. From Crapple. Yeah. It works really well when you don't need it to. You know it's a good phone, because you can't buy it.
There's something funny about this wall. Holy moolah!
Will you look at that?
There's gotta be over $1 million in there.
I know it's tempting, kid, but I say leave that alone. Nobody ever leaves that kind of dough just lying around. Nobody we want to meet anyway.
Don't worry, Joey, I'm not stupid. It's just, wow, I've never seen so much money.
I know, dear, I know. You can look, but don't touch.
Stacks of $100 bills. There must be over 100 of them. That's interesting. Each stack has the same wrapper around them, and they all have the same letters printed on them. GCT. What's that?
Sounds like a clue to where the money came from.
No, Joey's right. There's something fishy about this money. Wow, look at all these results for GCT. This isn't going to help me at all. The money wrappers had the letters GCT printed on them. I'm not sure who Ryan and June are, but I assume they're in love. Or at least they used to be. The money is on Ryan's boat. Does it belong to him? Where did it come from? The money is on Ryan's yacht, and the money was bundled up in wrappers labeled GCT. What could GCT be?
Boy, if I...
No good. It's screwed tightly in place. Got it.
It's a key. Looks like it's about to fall off that peg. A bunch of books. None of them look useful.
One small change to Joey here is that I made the wind and the tie inventory items, and that's never been done before. It used to be that if you would just click on something and it was something that Joey could blow on, he would just do it automatically. And that was dumb because if there was a puzzle involving Joey blowing on something, that he would automatically do it, and that would just it kind of ruin the point of it being a puzzle. So I made the blowing power a inventory item, and the tie as well. I like that that's an actual item that you can use because it's an actual action. You are giving the tie to someone as opposed to Joey doing it automatically. And also the tie is used in a puzzle towards the end of the game, so it made sense to make it an actual inventory item.
What? How did you get here?
I just wanna...
Get off my boat! Get off or I'll shoot you dead!
Right. Look, why don't you put that toy down and... Ow! What the hell? That hurt!
Get off!
Listen. Whoa! Hey, alright, I'm going.
Joey, what was that noise? Are you okay?
I'm fine. Yeah. Looks like we got a spook after all. And he's packing heat.
You mean he's got a gun? Were you shot?
Yeah, sorta.
Sorta. What happened? Does it hurt?
Stings a lot, yeah. But it's going away now.
I don't know why, but there's something very funny about Joey getting beat up. In Blackwell Unbound, there was a ghost with a saxophone, and he would hit Joey over the head with it. And you could do that as often as you wanted. And in Deception, you can get shot by Ryan, and you can go in and talk to Ryan, get shot in as many ways as you possibly want. So, yeah.
Come here for a minute.
Yes.
How'd all that dough end up there anyway?
Maybe we're being rewarded.
I doubt it. Whoever or whatever GCT is, they must be rolling in it. Who'd have thought it? A genuine ghost ship.
Wouldn't the ship itself have to be a ghost to be a ghost ship? If anything, it's just a regular ship with a ghost on it.
You're a real romance killer, you know that?
Just saying.
You doing okay? You look a little green around the gills.
I'm fine.
Getting a little seasick, are we?
I'm fine. Shut up.
If you're going to throw up, could you face the other way?
I am not sick. I'm totally fine. Let's get this done.
Well, enough John. Let's get this spook sorted.
Right.
All right, let's get back to it.
Sure. Joey,
What's going on?
I'm going to take another look around.
Yeah, there's got to be something we missed.
That's all for now.
Yeah.
Locked.
I've moved it as far as it'll go. It's the...
It's a ladder.
This is Rebecca Whitaker's second time playing Rosa. The first time she played her was the previous game. The first game was a woman named Sandy Chen who was not able to come back. So thankfully Rebecca's in for the duration. One thing I've learned about Rebecca by working with her for so long is that the woman never wastes an opportunity for a crass, dirty joke. And here, with Rosa sticking her hand up that hole to get the key, you can see a few bloopers have appeared on the screen. You can imagine why.
Not with my hand stuck in a hole, I don't. Not with my hand stuck in her hole, I don't.
I knew it.
Do not put lines like that and not expect something, man.
I knew it.
It's the word hole. What do you expect? I don't need to put my hand in that anymore. I don't need to put my hand in that anymore.
Jesus Christ.
Come on, you know you're dealing with the 13-year-old boy over here.
I totally am. One thing that's rare in adventure games and 2D games in general is this sense of interconnectedness between locations, and I kind of like this puzzle where you reach through the vent and you see your hand come up in the other room. It kind of makes it feel very connected and very much like a real place.
Fits perfectly.
Hey, what the hell are you doing here? Talk fast.
Whoa, relax. I'm just here to talk.
Talk? Talk is cheap, and so is life.
Hey, wait, no!
Huh? I shot you. How are you still standing?
I'm so glad that worked.
My aim's off. It's gotta be the stress. Who are you?
The man playing Ryan, his name is Michael Gambino, is a guy I know through the game dev scene here in New York. He works for Muse Games downtown, and he did some voiceover for some of their characters, some of their games. So he asked if he could do an audition for me. And I love the way he did Ryan, because it kind of was a little bit different than the way I envisioned it. When I wrote the dialogue, it was kind of what you expect, just someone very loud and angry and in your face, kind of going red at the cheeks. But when we did it, of course, it sounded very cheesy when he said it out loud. And what he ended up going for was this very restrained Lex Luthor kind of character. If you ever watched the old Superman animated cartoon from the 90s, that's very much what it was like. And I like it because actually it was more menacing and intimidating than if he was just in your face angry. So that came out very well.
I'm with the police.
No, I don't think so. You don't look like any cop I've ever seen. Did someone from the bank send you?
Bank? What bank?
What bank? You don't know?
I'm afraid not.
You're serious? You don't even know who I am, do you? So, what do I do with you? You don't look like a cop, and you're not with the bank. That only leaves... Oh, I get it. You're a stowaway, aren't you? Boy, did you choose the wrong boat. Look, I have no time to deal with this right now. I'm not going to shoot you again. Just go below and stay out of my way.
GCT could stand for a bank's name. Easy enough to find out. Time for a little cross-referencing. Thought so. There are a lot of GCTs out there, but only the Grant City Trust seems to be a bank.
In the first two Blackwell games, there was a interface where you could combine your notes and clues and get more clues. And it was a pretty cool way of getting through a mystery game, I thought, anyway. But a lot of players were annoyed by it because often they would come to the conclusions themselves without using the notebook interface, and the game wouldn't progress. And they got very frustrated. Like, I know this. I know these are connected. How come the character doesn't? And they didn't realize they had to go into the notebook and actually manually combine them. I could see why that was very frustrating. So for Blackwell Convergence, I removed it completely, and the exact opposite happened. A lot of people got annoyed that I took it out. So I was kind of damned if I did, damned if I didn't. So for Deception, I kind of went back to the drawing board and tried to figure out a way to make this work. And the way I made it work was that when it was absolutely necessary to combine clues, it involved something that you could never come up with on your own. Like here, the whole GCT and Grant City Trust thing. You would never know that GCT stood for Grant City Trust until you combine these clues in the interface. There was just no way you could come up with that on your own. So that was the middle ground that I hope I found to make this work properly.
Excuse me.
What do you want? I'm busy.
Is your name Ryan by any chance?
What's it to you?
Oh, nothing. Just making conversation. I'm Rosangela, by the way.
Great! Now leave.
So, tell me about June.
What do you know about her?
Nothing. I just saw the engraving on the side of the ship.
Just get out of here, okay?
Tell me about the money.
You leave that alone. Don't you dare touch any of that money. It's mine. I've earned it 10 times over with my own blood, sweat, and tears. I've got to get away. Then I'll be free and clear.
Free and clear from what?
Forget it. Just get out of here, will you?
I know about the Grant City Trust.
What about them?
I know you robbed them.
Yeah, well, it doesn't matter if you know. They can't catch me now.
You used to work for them, didn't you?
You bet I did. 30 years of service, and they were going to lay me off without a second thought. Well, I certainly showed them. I just gotta get to Boston. Once I get there, I am free and clear.
I know about the Grant City Trust.
What about them?
I know.
Yeah, well,
You
bet I just...
Boston? What's in Boston?
I have a cousin with a private plane. That's what. Once I get to Boston, I'm going to dump this yacht and take a one-way trip to anywhere.
So you're not stopping until we get to Boston?
Not a chance. So make yourself comfortable.
So how far are we from Boston now?
Well, let's see. According to my satellite navigation system, we are still in New York. We have a while to go yet. Good thing nobody is following us.
Excuse me?
What do you want? I'm busy.
So how far are we from Boston now?
Well, let's see. According to my satellite navigation system, we are still in New York. We have a while to go yet. Good thing nobody is following us.
Ah, right. Looks like I'm screwing with airborne signals again. Whatever this thing is, it's flickering like mad.
Excuse me?
What do you want? I'm busy.
So how far are we from Boston now?
Well, let's see. According to my satellite navigation system, we are just outside of Greece? That's impossible. Something must be interfering with the navigation system. It'll fix itself in a minute.
One of those modern gizmos. I don't know how it works. The screen says we're floating in the Gulf of Mexico. I don't think so.
Excuse me?
What do you want? I'm busy.
So how far are we from Boston now?
Well, let's see. According to my satellite navigation system, we are the Gulf of Mexico. I know we can't be that far off course. Something must be interfering with the navigation system. It'll fix itself in a minute.
One of those modern gizmos. The screen says we're still in New York, but of course... I think I'll let her do the talking. Those ghost bullets sting.
Looks like a satellite navigation system. It reads our position from a satellite. The map on the screen shows our position as Antarctica. There's not much I can do with it. The controls are all internal. Excuse me?
What do you want? I'm busy.
So how far are we from Boston now?
Well, let's see. According to my satellite navigation system, we are in Antarctica. That can't be right. Something must be interfering with the navigation system. It'll fix itself in a minute.
I just can't come to grips with it.
Looks like a satellite navigation system. The map on the screen shows our position as just outside of Boston Harbor. Excuse me.
What do you want? I'm busy.
So, how far are we from Boston now?
Well, let's see. According to my satellite navigation system, we are... Look at that. According to this, we're a mile outside of Boston Harbor. I feel like I've been piloting this boat near forever. I've got to go on deck and take a look. What a beautiful sight this is going to be.
He looks pretty angry.
I debated making one major change to this scene for the longest time, but then eventually it just got way too late, and it just became less effort to just keep it the way it was. You'll see these three characters are kind of crammed in up there in the upper left, and the dialogue portraits obscure most of the conversation anyway. And I thought about moving this whole thing down to the lower deck, but it kind of was very clunky gameplay-wise, because first Rosa would have to climb down the ladder, speak to Ryan, and then Ryan would have to go all the way back up to the upper deck, go through the door, and then Rosa would have to go up the ladder and go through the door. So I just sort of left it as is. It's now more I sacrificed aesthetics for gameplay, basically. So I was debating whether or not to change it. In the end, I think I made the right choice keeping it this way. Sometimes when you create a background or you get a background made, it's hard to foresee things like that, and so this is what we ended up with.
Ryan?
That's the George Washington Bridge.
That's right.
This isn't Boston.
No, it's not.
How is this possible? How can I still be in New York? I've been piloting this boat for I don't know how long. I must have left New York waters by now.
How long, Ryan?
What?
Just how long have you been piloting this boat?
I don't know. I grabbed the money a few hours after closing time. That must have been 9 p.m.? I came straight to the boat, so it's only been a few hours. Right? I hid the money down below. I set out. And then I heard sirens. The harbor police on the bullhorn. They boarded. No, they didn't get me. They couldn't have. I was so desperate to get away. I had my gun. I missed. They shot back. That's all I remember. They did get me.
I'm sorry, Ryan.
For 30 years, they made me bleed, and they finally killed me once and for all. Excuse me, this is a lot to take in.
Maybe this money belonged to someone named June? I wonder if June was involved with the Grant City Trust. It's a pretty safe bet that the money in the hidden compartment came from the Grant City Trust.
That's the New York Bridge. Oh.
Is there a New York Bridge?
There is no New York Bridge. There are several New York bridges, but they're all not named that.
Ryan?
Just leave me alone.
Say, Ryan?
Just leave me alone.
Hey, Ryan, I'm gonna have to ask you to take this.
What is it?
It's to help you on your way.
My way?
Yes, Ryan. It's time for you to move on.
Yes, I guess it's time.
The one thing that changes with each Blackwell game is this area. I call it node space. I've never actually called it node space in the game. People call it the void, the space between worlds, whatever. But it always looks different in each game, depending on the artist that draws them. In the first game, it was this really heavy stone. In the second game, it was this kind of multicolored, chalky stuff. In the third game, it was these like floating, real heavy pieces of rock. And now it's kind of these really funky, oddly lit tiles, which is just really nice. And there's that wonderful kind of pool effect in the door, and the whole glowing thing. The artist didn't do that. I started that in Unbound, doing this lighting effect, kind of changing the saturation and the brightness of the background to kind of give it that heartbeat pulse kind of feeling. So node space is something that is changed in every game, and will probably change in the next one too.
I think I went a bit mad. It's all so clear to me now. My wife died. Did I tell you about that?
Her name was June.
Yes, cancer. It wasn't pretty. But when she died, I kind of lost it. My work suffered quite a bit. Maybe they had no choice but to fire me, but I thought that 30 years of service was worth something. I guess I was wrong. Strange. Why is this all so obvious to me now that I'm dead?
I wish I knew.
Still, the bank will never get their money back. I made sure they paid for that, at least.
We found the money. We'll have to return it to them.
I know that's the right thing to do, but you won't get the chance.
Then what are you talking about?
You'll find out. June, if you're out there, I'm coming.
Say, darling, you wouldn't know how to pilot this floating crate, would you?
No. Why?
'Cause we've increased speed by, a lot, and we're headed straight towards the Jersey Shore.
What? Is that what he meant?
What who meant?
Never mind. All these buttons are Greek to me. What do we do?
Can you swim?
Joey.
No time, kid. Abandon ship. Kid, have you lost your mind? There's no time for that. Abandon ship. Hey, careful.
Oh God. Oh God.
You ready?
No.
Jump!
Ah!
I can't take you anywhere.
Shut up. I'm wet. I'm filthy. And I'm in New Jersey.
Relax, will you? We saved another one. Score another point for us.
Yeah. That yacht is completely totaled.
The $2 million as well.
We are so not getting paid.
Not one lead cent.
The sequence on the Jersey Shore, I was debating whether or not to just skip it or get rid of it entirely. It's kind of one of those action-y, kind of funny, dramatic, action-y moments where the heroes do something and then they quip some, witticisms after it's done, and it felt a little cheesy, but I was wondering whether I should keep it. And I asked a lot of people about it, and everyone seemed to like it. And then finally I asked Abe Goldfarb, the guy who plays Joey, when he recorded the lines, I asked him what he thought. And he said, yeah, it's a little, it's a little cliche, but it's okay because it's them. These two aren't exactly very glamorous. And that was a very good point. I figured if Joey likes it, then it stays.
Crashed into the New Jersey City dock wall. Fortunately, nobody was injured.
Who'd be calling me now? Joey, could you,
Right.
Hello?
Hi, is this Rosangela?
Yes, who's this?
It's been a while. This is Jeremy Sams.
Jeremy? Oh, Jeremy, yeah. Are you still at the Village Eye?
Oh, God, no. I left there a year ago. I work at the City Post now.
Really? That's a big step up. Congratulations.
Thanks. I actually hoped you could help me with an article I'm working on.
Me?
I've come down with the flu or something really bad. I need to follow up on some interviews and the window is closing. Can you help? Come on. You'll be paid, and you can share the byline.
Well, tell me what it is first.
Awesome. Come on over and we'll chat. Thanks a mil, Rosangela.
So we're moonlighting as reporters now?
I used to work with Jeremy. He's okay, and the extra money won't hurt. The City Post is a pretty important paper. Maybe they'll want a spiritual news column.
I doubt it.
You'll notice that the portrait for the commentary is a picture of a microphone. That is actually my microphone, and I love this microphone. It is a Blue Yeti, and it is awesome. I finally upgraded after spending 5 years and 7 or 8 games doing VO with a headset and microphone that I bought from Radio Shack for $20. And it served me well, lasted a very long time, but then I finally decided to upgrade. And the difference is palpable. I mean, this game just sounds so much better, at least VO-wise. And the main reason, not just the quality of the microphone and the sound itself, but also the fact that the microphone isn't half an inch away from their mouths anymore, and they can really emote and really kind of let loose, especially later with some of the more intense moments. So I finally upgraded. A lot of you have been asking me if I was ever going to get a decent microphone, especially the audio files amongst you, and at last that's happened.